Hello, 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 everyone. I am Yeager back here on the YeagerShots YouTube channel from YeagerShots.com and all the other places all over the internet. Live streaming. Back at it. Updated OBS and lost a ton of plugins just before going on the air. Great. So this will be a quick one. The rumor mill, it started up as far as specs goes, but we pretty much know Sony's going to announce a brand new full frame camera in about 2 weeks' time. The new version of the ZV for vloggers is out. They're really stuck on this 20 millimeter fixed lens, I believe. That camera's gonna have a fixed lens on it. I didn't look too closely at the new ZV announcement because I'm not gonna get it, but I know a lot of people really do enjoy that camera. I am not super keen on getting a crop sensor. Same thing with FX30. That's why I didn't really have a ton to say about it. However, not that I'm going to get the Sony A7RV, R for resolution with 61 megapixels. I am a fan of this camera. This camera is really, really interesting and it's going to answer a question that I've had about cameras because still cameras, the functionality of taking photos, still photos, almost everyone can do that in their sleep at this point. And I wanted to know, so where do we go from here? And according to our friends over at Sony Alpha Rumors, Sony Alpha Rumors, it looks like we know. One quick thing about any rumor site, especially in the camera one, they get so much hate for some reason. Can I go full screen? Go full screen and talk about this. Oh boy, F something. There we go. They get so much hate for being wrong, but it is rumor site. Like rumor is in the title, and I've never really quite understood what all the hate was for. And then I've also gone on record as saying that, particularly with Sony Alpha Rumors, they've almost spoiled camera reveals. With A7S3 had so much info about that one. That was such a highly anticipated camera. News had to get out. The A7 IV I'm shooting on right now, so much info about that one got out. Also, the lens I'm using right now, the Rokinon 1.8, on sale on Amazon. So make sure you get that if you're watching today, October the 11th, 12th, wherever we are, for that Prime Early Access. So let's go over to our Chrome window. Just to read off a couple of these specs that we got right here. Again, from a rumor site. The same 61 megapixel sensor as the R4 is going to be in the R5 with a new processor, more on that in a second. New autofocus with AI deep learning, that's the big thing. 8K 24p cropped, 4K 60 and 4K 24p full readout. S-Cinetone is going to be available. We'll say 8 stops of IVIS, that's a rumor. The whole stops thing with video and stills, we ought to get those cameras in our hands to see. Somebody's got to test that to actually know what those are doing and not doing as far as getting your full extra stops. And the body can look like a mix of the Sony A7S3 and Sony A7 IV. Hopefully it doesn't have a little push-in dial to change your 1, 2, and 3 settings because that just wears my pointer finger out after doing that over time. So for me, I was like, okay, where do we go here with stills? And Sony, Canon trading blows with their autofocus. This makes perfect sense that it's going to turn to increasing the AI as far as autofocus. We're already got an A7 IV recognizing birds, recognizing people, recognizing animals. So Canon's got the cars, you can turn it there, and other objects to increase the AI and machine learning aspect of what we can do with these cameras as far as the stills, and I'm assuming that will also work in video mode too. So now I'm wondering, is there a new processor in these cameras? Because if that's the case, then you have an easy out if you're Sony that you can't put those in cameras like the A1, which is also speculated to get a revamp. So if the internals are going to be that much different, the processor is going to be that much different. A1, 2, whatever that would be called, very confusing naming convention, could be around the corner next year. And what world are we in where a $6,000 camera is already out of date in 2 years? I would say at least get me 4, but we shall see. It's Renegade down there shaking. What else do we have to say? That processor could be brand new in A7RV. So we will know for sure in 2 weeks. We know positively that Sony's going to announce a new full frame camera. So I'm assuming some review units are making their ways around to people, and that's kind of how these things can get out so easily. Those doggone YouTubers just telling things that they know. Now, anybody who's reviewing, anybody in media, and once it gets out of the factory, people are finding out throughout that chain. So it's not just media who's going to be leaking things. With a 61 megabyte capability of photos staying the same, they've got to make the change, in my opinion, to to CF Express Type B cards. We're going to have to get off this Type A thing. Type A was a very expensive, failed move, in my opinion. We know, like, when Sony, who's got a track record of this, with Memory Stick Pro Dual, they at least had a bunch of audio recorders and players and CD players to try to slide those in. These Type A cards really only seem to work, or really it's only used in Sony cameras. So the adoption rate when you do proprietary tech, if the adoption rate does not kick in, if it's not there, you're almost DOA. If it does kick in and it spreads to the masses, well then great. But that is generally not how these things go. You look at how they had a little mini disc for PSP back in the day. Sony PlayStation 3 using the cell processor, which no one can seem to get to work flawlessly without some nice emulation and trickery nowadays on computers running, I believe it's x86. So all that kind of techie stuff. So Type A is a smaller physically card, smaller as in gigabytes, smaller in gigabyte size. And it's a slower card as far as transferring for reading and writing, and somehow it's more expensive. Somebody make that make sense. That's a question for Sony. Like, why is it that way? And also, where is your lens breathing compensation and your focus mapping in cameras like the A7S3 and the A1? Now, so many questions we would like to get some kind of answers to. What on earth has happened with those features? But hopefully, they're going to make the switch to Type B. I don't know if it's going to be in this card, in this camera, the upcoming A7RV. It looks like they're going to try to ride the Type A out. It reeks of Memory Stick Pro Dual, the Type A cards. I'm sorry it's happening that way. I get why you would want a smaller card, but I also could see, like, when you're using the R5, it's got a little bit taller height overall in the camera, and my pinky can rest on it. This is just me getting in personal preference. I'm fine with having a few more centimeters for a Type B card for future Sony cameras, because Type A is not gonna get any kind of traction and adoption at these prices, at slower speeds, and at smaller storage numbers. We're live. What can I say? All right, let's go back over here really quickly to our Chrome window. Before taking off, just want to remind you, yes, get in here. Last day to save. Samyang E-mount lenses. I'm using a Rokinon right now. Same thing, just they use Rokinon in the States. That is what I'm shooting this live stream with. The 35mm 1.8 is on sale. It ends at midnight if you catch this video today on Wednesday for the special Prime Early Access, whatever they're calling that thing. Head on over to Andre Pizzini Photography. Sorry, Andre, if I messed your name up. Person behind Sony Alpha Rumors. So get it straight from the source, get it straight from the man himself. It's pretty much a college in industry, in and of himself, in the rumors sites. But I'm fine with the rumors. I pretty much get what I expect when I hear the word rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Gonna go make some more videos, take some trash out, and I will be back here running my mouth about cameras here on the YouTubes soon. Have a good one.